You've probably heard that famous line from the 18th century writer Samuel Johnson. When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life. It's a great quote, punchy, dramatic. But let me ask you something. What if you're not tired of life? What if the real beating heart of England lies somewhere beyond the reach of an Oyster card? All right, everyone. I've spent years crisscrossing this amazing country, and I'll let you in on a secret. Some of my most unforgettable moments, the stories I tell down the pub, happened miles away from the capital. Now, before the comments section goes absolutely crackers, we're counting down the top 10 places to visit in England that aren't London. And I'm not just giving you the glossy highlights. I'm giving you the proper inside scoop, the local secrets, the wallet check, and the unfiltered truth about what to expect when you get there. Let's get into it, starting with number 10. It's the city that's been England's cheeky, free-thinking escape for over 200 years, Brighton. It's London's cool, eccentric cousin who ran away to join the circus and never looked back. Vibe is electric, bohemian, and unapologetically itself. Locals describe it as a place that feels different to the rest of the UK, a party town with a constant buzz about the place. It's the LA of the UK, or the San Francisco of England, for its liberal, queer-friendly culture, and it proudly holds the title of the UK's unofficial gay capital. First, you have to get lost in the lanes. This is a historic maze of narrow, twisting alleyways filled with antique shops, high-end jewelers, and hidden pubs. For a great local pub that captures the city's spirit, check out the Basket Maker's Arms. Then, for a totally different feel, head to the more bohemian North Lane. This is where you'll find the quirky indie shops, vintage clothing stores, vinyl record shops, and some of the best coffee in the city. You absolutely have to see the Royal Pavilion. It's a former royal palace that looks like it was plucked from India and dropped in the middle of an English seaside town. It is completely, wonderfully bonkers. Okay, let's talk about the Brighton Palace Pier. Look, it's iconic. You can't miss seeing it. But it's a classic tourist trap. My advice? Walk on it. Take your photo looking back at the city. Maybe play a few of the 2-pence arcade machines for nostalgia. But don't spend your whole day or your whole budget there. Because Brighton isn't cheap. It's often called London by the Sea for its prices too. A decent hotel or a cool Airbnb in a good location will set you back about £120 to £175 a night. And a mid-range dinner for two will be in the £65 to £75 range. Coming in at number 9, we're heading north to a city that wears its industrial heart on its sleeve, Manchester. Vibe is described as gritty, but unlike any other UK city, with a coolness and edge that London lost years ago. It feels like a city on the up. It's younger, more affordable, and it's a lot friendlier than London. Manchester isn't trying to be pretty. It's too busy being interesting. You have to spend a good chunk of your time in the northern quarter. This is the creative heart of the city, a grid of streets packed with street art, boutiques, vintage shops, and legendary record stores like Piccadilly Records. For pure architectural awe, don't miss the John Rylands Library. The People's History Museum is telling the story of democracy and workers' rights in Britain. And of course, a visit to either Old Trafford, Manchester United, or the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City, for a stadium tour is non-negotiable. Be wary of what locals call hacienda nostalgia. The Hacienda nightclub was a legendary part of the Manchester music scene, but it was demolished decades ago. Don't fall for tours or experiences that over-romanticize a past that doesn't exist anymore. There's a running joke among Mancunians that there are 3 types of weather in Manchester: raining, been raining, or about to rain. It's one of the most sun-deprived places in the UK. Your wallet will be a lot happier here than it would be down south. A solid, stylish hotel right in the city center will cost you around £95 to £145 a night. A mid-range dinner for two is very reasonable, coming in at around £60 to £70. For a daily budget that covers all your needs, food, transport, and an activity or two, you can comfortably get by on £160 per person. And a practical tip, the tram to the airport takes a ridiculously long, winding route. Take the train instead. It's much faster. At number 8 is a city with a soul that sings and a wit as sharp as a razor, Liverpool. More than just the hometown of the Beatles, this is a city defined by its proud maritime history, its famously friendly people, and an energy that's impossible to resist. It's a UNESCO City of Music, and you feel that rhythm in every street. It's one of the friendliest cities in the UK. Locals go out of their way to be friendly and are just insanely friendly. Scousers have a unique, biting sense of humor and a famously rebellious spirit. Obviously, you have to dive headfirst into Beatlemania. Go down the steps into the legendary Cavern Club on Matthew Street, where it all began. Explore the Beatles Story Museum, located at the Royal Albert Dock. And if you're a proper, die-hard fan, hop on the Magical Mystery Tour bus to see their childhood homes, Penny Lane, and more. The Royal Albert Dock itself is a must-see. It's a beautifully restored complex of warehouses that now houses the Tate Liverpool Art Gallery and the Merseyside Maritime Museum. The joke, and what ship has never docked in Liverpool? The Premier ship. For a more modern, creative vibe, head to the Baltic Triangle. Don't miss the street food market at Baltic Market. The actual strawberry field is, well, it's just a set of red gates in front of a modern building. It's a cool photo op for diehard fans, but don't go expecting a magical, psychedelic field. And don't try to mimic the Scouse accent. Locals find it rude, and you won't get it right anyway, trust me. Stick to enjoying their wit, not copying it. Liverpool is one of the most budget-friendly big cities on our list. You can find a great, centrally located hotel for about £80 to £130 a night. A mid-range dinner for two will set you back a very reasonable £65. A comfortable daily budget here would be around £145 per person. It's a city that delivers a world-class experience without demanding a king's ransom. For number 7, we're trading city streets for 95 miles of absolutely staggering prehistoric coastline. This is the Jurassic Coast, England's only natural UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a 185-million-year-old story told in crumbling cliffs, fossil-strewn beaches, and mind-bending rock formations. This is an epic road trip through deep time, stretching from Devon to Dorset. The vibe is wild, and you're literally walking through layers of rock representing the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods laid bare by the sea. You absolutely have to see Durdle Door, the magnificent natural limestone arch. Also, while Durdle Door is a must-see, the beach itself can get incredibly crowded in the summer, feeling more like a packed city park than a natural wonder. But the view from the cliff path as you walk over from the equally stunning horseshoe-shaped Lulworth Cove is breathtaking and one of the most iconic images of England. You must go fossil hunting at Charmouth Beach. It's one of the best and safest places in the world for it. And explore the dramatic chalk stacks of Old Harry Rocks near Studland, and be sure to spend some time in the harbor of Lyme Regis, the home of pioneering 19th century paleontologist Mary Anning. The main trap here isn't a specific place, but a mindset, trying to do the whole coast in a single day. It's 95 miles of winding roads and spread out sites. Don't rush it. Costs here can vary wildly depending on where you choose to base yourself. A hotel or a bed and breakfast in a popular town like Lyme Regis or Weymouth will be around £120 to £185 a night, especially in the summer. A hearty pub dinner for two will cost about £55 to £70. You really need a car to explore the coast properly. Your daily budget should be around £190 per person. Also, don't forget the hidden cost of parking. It can be surprisingly pricey at popular spots like Durdle Door and Lulworth Cove. Stepping into number 6 is like stepping into a time machine. Welcome to York, a city so perfectly preserved it feels like a film set. With its Roman roots, medieval walls, and Viking past, why did the Viking open a bakery in York? To get a Jorvik up. York is arguably England's most beautiful and complete historic city. It's beautiful with wonderful architecture that doesn't get old. You have to explore the magnificent York Minster, one of the world's greatest cathedrals. Make sure to climb the central tower for incredible views over the city's rooftops. Take a walk along the city walls, and for something completely different, the National Railway Museum has an astonishing collection of iconic trains, and it's free to enter. And you must walk the shambles. This is the medieval street so crooked that the overhanging timber-framed buildings nearly touch above your head. It's famously said to be the inspiration for Diagon Alley, and it's easy to see why. The sheer volume of Harry Potter-themed shops on the shambles can feel a bit overwhelming. And it's fun for a photo, but it's pure tourist tat. The real trap is getting stuck in the city center on a crowded Saturday. The crowds. I can't stress this enough. York's immense popularity is its biggest challenge, especially during the summer, the famous Christmas markets, and on horse racing days. It can be difficult and frustrating to walk down the main streets, and popularity means it can be pricey, especially for a good place to stay. Expect to pay between £110 and £175 a night, and book well in advance if you're coming on a weekend. A mid-range dinner for two will be around £60. To properly enjoy the city, I'd recommend budgeting around £185 per person per day. A York Pass can be a good value if you plan on hitting multiple paid attractions in one day. My honest advice is to visit on a weekday in the shoulder season if you possibly can. At number 5, we have the City of Dreaming Spires, Oxford. Home to the oldest university in the English-speaking world, this isn't just a city, it's an institution. A living, breathing museum of academia, stunning architecture, and literary genius that has shaped the world for over 800 years. Oxford's vibe is best described as calm, cozy, and deeply intellectual. You absolutely have to explore the university colleges. Start with Christ Church, main filming location for Harry Potter. Its Great Hall was the inspiration for Hogwarts' dining hall. You must visit one of the oldest and most beautiful libraries in Europe, the Bodleian Library and the stunning Duke Humfrey's Library, which is the Hogwarts library in the films. For the best view in the city, climb the tower of the University Church of St. Mary the Virgin. From the top, you get that iconic, postcard-perfect view of the circular Radcliffe camera. Being a world-famous university town just an hour from London comes at a price. A decent, centrally located hotel will cost you somewhere in the range of £145 to £200 a night. A mid-range dinner for two at a nice restaurant will be about £60 to £70. I would plan for a daily budget of about £210 per person. It's an expensive city, and there's no getting around that. The main tourist trap is getting stuck on the main thoroughfares like Cornmarket Street. Also, many of the standard walking tours can be a bit generic. For something different, consider a niche one like the Uncomfortable Oxford Tour. It gives you a much deeper and more honest understanding of the place. The city can feel completely dominated by tourists and students, to the point where it has been described as a tourist hell. The narrow medieval streets get absolutely clogged with large tour groups, making it genuinely frustrating to get around. As a visitor, you are part of that problem. This is not a party city. If you're looking for wild nightlife, you take the 24/7 Oxford Tube bus to London. Breaking into our top 4 is a place of properly epic, soul-stirring beauty that has moved poets to tears and adventurers to their limits, the Lake District. This is England's largest national park and a UNESCO World Heritage Site for good reason. It's a landscape of majestic mountains, or fells, as they're called here, shimmering lakes and ancient stone-walled valleys that inspired centuries of poets and writers, from William Wordsworth to Beatrix Potter. The vibe here is pure, tranquil, dramatic, and utterly magnificent. Locals are not shy about their love for it, calling it the most beautiful place on the planet. You have to get out on the water. Take one of the historic steamer cruises on Windermere, England's largest lake. For hikers, hike the short but rewarding scramble up Catbells for one of the best panoramic views in the entire park, looking out over Derwent Water. You must visit the impossibly charming village of Grasmere, the former home of the poet William Wordsworth. While you're there, you have to stop at the legendary Grasmere gingerbread shop. It's been using the same secret recipe since 1854, and it is absolutely divine. And for sheer, jaw-dropping beauty, the drive or the circular walk around Buttermere is unforgettable. The towns of Windermere and Bowness-on-Windermere are the main tourist gateways, and in the summer they are crowded and can feel more like a busy seaside resort than a peaceful national park. My advice is to use them as a jumping-off point if you must, but try to stay in quieter, more authentic areas like Keswick, the Ullswater Valley, or even the more remote western valleys like Eskdale or Wasdale. A good hotel or a cozy bed and breakfast in a popular town like Keswick or Ambleside will set you back £145 to £200 a night, and a hearty pub dinner for two after a long day of hiking, and you will want one, will cost about £60 to £70. A daily budget of around £200 per person is a safe and realistic bet to enjoy yourself fully. The single biggest and most serious con is underestimating the landscape and the weather. Tourists getting into trouble on the fells is a huge and constant problem for the local mountain rescue teams. The weather in the mountains can change in an instant. People attempt challenging hikes in flip-flops and without a map. Don't be that person. Next is the romantic peninsula at the very pointy end of England. Cornwall has a magical quality that's hard to put into words. It feels like escaping to a different country entirely, with its wild Atlantic coastline, golden beaches, hidden turquoise coves, and a fiercely independent Celtic spirit. There's a strong, proud local identity and a slower pace of life. You have to visit the impossibly picturesque artsy town of St. Ives, home to the Tate St. Ives and the beautiful Barbara Hepworth Museum and Sculpture Garden, and cliff-carved Minack Theatre. It's a working, open-air theatre with the Atlantic Ocean. At low tide, walk across the ancient cobblestone causeway to the magical island of St. Michael's Mount. And for a taste of myth and legend, visit the ruins of Tintagel Castle, the supposed birthplace of King Arthur. The biggest trap here is an ethical one: using Airbnbs without thinking about the impact. The explosion of short-term holiday lets has decimated the local housing market, making it impossible for many locals, especially young people, to afford to live in their own communities. Many locals urge visitors to stay in locally run guest houses, B&Bs, or traditional hotels instead, as this supports the community more directly. The traffic. I cannot overstate this. Cornwall's infrastructure, particularly its narrow, winding country lanes, simply cannot handle the sheer volume of traffic during the summer tourist rush. The main A30 road can become a car park for miles. A journey that should take 20 minutes can easily take 2 hours. With cars parked on both sides can be a proper holiday killer. In the summer, it is one of the most expensive places to holiday in the UK. A hotel, or more likely a self-catering cottage rental, can easily cost you £160 to £240 a night. And a good seafood dinner for two, fresh off the boat, will cost around £70 to £80. You should budget at least £225 per person per day during peak season. Second is the place that defines quintessentially English for people all over the world: the Cotswolds. This isn't just one town. The entire region looks like it was plucked from a fairy tale. We're talking about 800 square miles of rolling green hills, sleepy villages built from distinctive honey-colored stone, and a sense of timeless rural charm. The Cotswolds feel like a warm, gentle escape from the chaos of modern life. It's peaceful, picturesque, and incredibly pretty. You have to see Byberry's Arlington Row. It's one of the most photographed streets in England, a line of 14th century weavers' cottages that is the absolute definition of quaint. Explore beautiful towns like Stow-on-the-Wold and Chipping-Campden, and for a stunning panoramic view, Broadway Tower, a quirky 18th century folly perched on a hilltop. You should also wander through Bourton-on-the-Water, known as the Venice of the Cotswolds, with its low stone bridges arching over the shallow river Windrush. Bourton-on-the-Water is the absolute epicenter of Cotswolds tourism, but locals complain that it's being ruined by TikTok tourists who descend in droves, creating gridlock and overcrowding. My advice is to visit very early in the morning before the tour buses arrive, or better yet, skip it in favor of quieter, equally beautiful villages like Lower Slaughter, just a short walk away, Stanton, or Northleach. This fairy tale comes with a princely price tag. A charming hotel or a cozy B&B in a popular village will run you £160 to £240 a night. And a nice pub dinner for two, with a pint of local ale, will be in the £70 to £85 range. To properly enjoy the area, you should plan on a daily budget of around £225 to £240 per person. And at number 1, the city that is, in my opinion, the most perfect jewel in England's crown, bar none, Bath. A UNESCO World Heritage Site in its entirety, Bath is a complete masterpiece of gorgeous Georgian architecture, a city built from the ground up for pleasure and well-being. Bath feels like stepping directly into a Jane Austen novel. It's refined, cultured, and has a relaxed, almost therapeutic atmosphere that's unlike any other city in England. The Roman baths are absolutely non-negotiable. It's one of the best preserved Roman sites in the world, and you have to see the iconic Royal Crescent, a sweeping arc of 30 terraced houses that is a triumph of Georgian design, and the equally stunning circular architecture of the circus just nearby. Walk across the beautiful shop-lined Pulteney Bridge, and for the ultimate bath experience, you must soak in the naturally warm, mineral-rich thermal waters at the Thermae Bath Spa's rooftop pool. Elegance, as you might expect, doesn't come cheap. A good hotel in the historic center of Bath will cost you between £160 and £240 a night, and luxury options go much higher. A 3-course meal for two at a nice mid-range restaurant is about £60 to £70. To fully enjoy, you'll want to have a daily budget of around £240 per person. Many locals and travel guides will point to Sally Lunn's historic eating house as being a bit overrated. It's famous for the Bath bun, and while the building is one of the oldest in the city, it's often mobbed with tourists queuing for what some describe as just a large sweet bread roll. The traffic and parking are an absolute, unmitigated nightmare. The city is built in a valley with a medieval street plan at its core, and it simply was not designed for cars. Driving into the city center is stressful, incredibly expensive, and a complete waste of your precious holiday time. The city has even implemented a clean air zone to discourage it. You must use the park and ride services located on the outskirts of the city. So there you have it, 10 best places to visit in England without London. The next time you're planning a trip here, I want you to look beyond the obvious. Ask yourself what kind of story you want to be a part of. Cheers for watching, and happy travels.